Discipline turns the ordinary into the extraordinary, because it is the foundation upon which all greatness is built. It's not talent alone, not luck, not even passion that leads to lasting success. It's the ability to stay consistent when excitement fades. Discipline is what transforms simple effort into mastery, and simple dreams into achievements. It is the invisible force behind every great inventor, every artist, every leader, and every watchmaker who quietly perfects his craft day after day. The watchmaker's story shows that success is not about doing something remarkable once, but about doing the small, unremarkable things with excellence again and again. When a person embraces discipline, they begin to see the beauty in repetition. Each action, no matter how minor, becomes a step towards something greater. The watchmaker understood this truth deeply. His daily routine, cleaning tools, adjusting gears, and measuring time, looked repetitive and dull to others. But to him, it was a form of art. Every turn of the screwdriver brought him closer to perfection. He knew that mastery is born in the silence of consistency, not in the noise of temporary motivation. His steady commitment turned his ordinary workbench into a place of transformation. Discipline sharpens the mind. It trains you to focus on what truly matters while tuning out distractions. Most people give up when challenges arise because they rely on feelings to guide their actions. But discipline teaches you to move even when motivation disappears. It becomes a compass that keeps you aligned with your goals. The watchmaker didn't wait for inspiration to appear. He created it through his habits, and that's what made him extraordinary. Over time, his steady work built trust, respect, and mastery, things that cannot be rushed or faked. In life, ordinary people who practice discipline eventually outperform those who rely only on talent. Talent gives you a head start, but discipline keeps you in the race. It builds character, endurance, and confidence. Each disciplined choice adds strength to your willpower, and that strength becomes visible in the quality of your results. The watchmaker's fame wasn't earned in a day. It was the result of years of disciplined craftsmanship. People admired his work because they could sense the devotion behind every tick of the clock. Discipline doesn't seek applause. It works quietly in the background, shaping you when no one is watching. It demands patience, humility, and persistence, qualities that create greatness from within. That's why discipline turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. Because while others chase quick results, the disciplined individual builds something eternal. They rise slowly but steadily. They don't need luck. They create their own opportunities through consistency. The watchmaker's secret wasn't in his hands but in his mindset, the belief that discipline, done daily, transforms every simple act into a masterpiece. Discipline is stronger than motivation because motivation is a feeling, and feelings change, but discipline is a choice, and choices define who we become. Motivation comes and goes. It's like the wind that pushes you forward one moment and disappears the next. Discipline, however, is the anchor that keeps you steady even when the storms of life try to knock you off course. The watchmaker in our story understood this truth deeply. There were days when he didn't feel inspired to work, days when his eyes ached and his hands trembled, yet he still sat at his desk and worked with patience and precision. He didn't rely on his feelings to guide his actions. He relied on his discipline. That's what separated him from everyone else. Motivation can ignite a fire in your heart, but without discipline, that fire fades quickly. Discipline is what keeps the flame alive long after excitement is gone. Most people start with energy and passion, but only a few finish what they begin, not because they lack talent, but because they lack consistency. Discipline is the force that makes you keep going when the initial thrill is over. It is the habit of showing up even when you don't feel like it, doing the work even when the world seems to ignore your effort. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what ensures you finish. The watchmaker didn't wait for the perfect mood or the perfect moment to begin. He understood that waiting for motivation is a form of procrastination. Discipline doesn't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" It simply says, "It's time to do what needs to be done." He knew that true progress doesn't depend on emotion, it depends on commitment. And so, while others wasted time searching for inspiration, he quietly built excellence through repetition. His dedication became his strength, and his consistency became his reputation. Discipline also builds trust within yourself. When you follow through on your promises, even when it's hard, you begin to believe in your own power. You no longer need external motivation because you've trained your mind to obey your goals rather than your emotions. That is real strength, the ability to act based on purpose, not on impulse. Discipline is the inner engine that keeps you moving forward when motivation runs out of fuel. It's the power that transforms temporary effort into lasting achievement. Motivation will push you for a day. Discipline will carry you for a lifetime. It's the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. The watchmaker's success wasn't the result of momentary excitement. It was the outcome of years of disciplined focus. Every masterpiece he created was a reflection of his consistency, not his mood. Discipline may seem hard in the moment, but it gives you freedom, control, and peace. In the end, motivation is fleeting, but discipline is forever. ChatGPT said, "Discipline creates freedom because it gives you control over your life, your choices, and your destiny." Most people think discipline means restriction, a set of rules that limit joy and spontaneity. But in truth, discipline is the opposite. It is the tool that unlocks freedom, the structure that allows you to live without chaos or fear. When you are disciplined, you are no longer a slave to laziness, distractions, or emotions. You choose your actions consciously instead of reacting to circumstances. The watchmaker understood this better than anyone. His strict routine was not a cage. It was the path that freed him from uncertainty and confusion. He woke up each day knowing exactly what to do, how to do it, and why it mattered. That clarity gave him peace. The undisciplined person is often trapped by their own impulses. They do what feels good in the moment, but later regret the consequences. They waste time, lose focus, and feel lost because they are controlled by temporary emotions. But the disciplined individual has power, the power to say no to distractions, no to excuses, and yes to what truly matters. This power creates a kind of inner freedom that cannot be taken away. When you are disciplined, you gain mastery over your time and your thoughts. You are free to build the life you want instead of living at the mercy of habits and moods. The watchmaker's discipline gave him that sense of mastery. His schedule was simple but sacred. He didn't let laziness decide his actions. He chose order over chaos, patience over rush, and excellence over mediocrity. Because of his discipline, he was free to focus fully on his craft without being distracted by worry or indecision. His consistent routine created stability, and stability created confidence. That is the beauty of discipline. It builds a foundation strong enough to support freedom. Without structure, freedom becomes chaos. With discipline, freedom becomes power. True freedom doesn't mean doing whatever you want. It means having the strength to do what's right, even when you don't feel like it. It means being able to control your mind instead of being controlled by it. Discipline gives you that strength. It helps you break free from unhealthy habits, negative thoughts, and wasted potential. The person who has mastered discipline no longer depends on motivation or luck. They live with purpose, clarity, and direction. That is real freedom, the freedom to live intentionally. The watchmaker's life was proof that discipline and freedom are not enemies, they are partners. His disciplined hands created beauty, his consistent focus created success, and his steady mind created peace. He was not bound by his routine, he was liberated by it. Discipline gave him freedom from fear, freedom from failure, and freedom from regret. And that is the greatest freedom of all, the ability to live your life with calmness, control, and confidence, knowing that every day you are moving closer to your true purpose. Discipline turns time into legacy because it transforms fleeting moments into lasting impact. Time, by itself, passes for everyone, but discipline determines what you do with it. The difference between an ordinary life and a meaningful one lies in how consistently you use your hours. Discipline gives purpose to time. It turns each day into a brick that builds something permanent. The watchmaker in our story understood this truth. While others wasted days chasing distractions, he invested his time in mastery. Every morning he opened his shop, every night he closed it with satisfaction. Each repaired watch, each careful movement, was a small contribution to something greater than himself, a legacy of precision, patience, and excellence. Many people dream of leaving a mark on the world, but few understand that legacies are built one disciplined day at a time. Discipline creates rhythm and order in the passage of time. It turns repetition into progress and effort into art. The watchmaker didn't achieve greatness overnight. His legacy was shaped through years of consistent work. He understood that success is not found in dramatic moments of brilliance, but in quiet persistence. Every tick of the clocks he repaired echoed his commitment. Long after his hands would stop working, those clocks would still tick, carrying his discipline forward through time. Without discipline, time slips away unnoticed. Procrastination steals hours, distractions consume days, and regret fills the years that follow. But a disciplined person turns each moment into an opportunity. They understand that every hour is a seed, and how you use it determines the fruit your life will bear. The disciplined use of time transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. Discipline adds weight to your actions and meaning to your work. It allows you to create something that lasts, something that will speak for you even when you are no longer here. The watchmaker didn't measure his life by the number of days he lived, but by the quality of his actions. His discipline gave structure to his time, and that structure gave shape to his purpose. Because he valued consistency over comfort, his work endured. His story teaches that legacy isn't about fame or wealth. It's about contribution. It's about leaving behind something that continues to inspire, help, or uplift others. Discipline is the silent architect of such legacies. It molds time into monuments of purpose. Discipline also brings fulfillment, because it allows you to look back on your life knowing that you used your time well. Each disciplined day adds to a foundation of pride and peace. The watchmaker didn't chase recognition, but his steady dedication built something more valuable: respect, trust, and timeless influence. When you live with discipline, your time doesn't fade away. It multiplies its meaning. That's how discipline turns time into legacy, by transforming the ordinary hours of your life into a story that outlives you, one built on consistency, purpose, and unwavering commitment.